Last weekend, rained all weekend, I had a chance to sit down and build something that the fellows that I fly with had decided they were going to do combat with the Bloody Wonder. And in order to join in, I went ahead over the weekend and built this Bloody Wonder. Now, I did fly it Monday, and I really had fun with it. It was a very enjoyable airplane. It really is stable, flew very well. The difference is from the Bloody Wonder the flight test would build is that I have landing gear, I have a place for the battery to go into so that it's not hanging off the bottom. I have my speed controller is underneath the battery, build a little pocket for that. And I'm going to build another one. Before I even flew this one, it managed to take a nosedive off the shelf and hit squarely on the nose and damage the motor a little bit. I can hear it making a little bit of a funny noise. And I also have a wrinkle along the side here, which hasn't affected the way it flies, but it does cause it to make me feel like there might be an improvement. And a lot of the things didn't turn out as well. I didn't do things quite the same as they did. And of course I wire tied my landing gear on, which it worked pretty well actually. So I'm going to build another one, and I thought I'd try to include step by step and let people see how to do it. I really wasn't a fan of the way the flight test did theirs in multiple pieces. If you can see, my fuselage is a single piece. There's not a lot of contrast there, it's hard to see, but it is a single piece rather than 3 pieces put together. I'll add on to this video as time goes on. I'm going to make a 22-inch fuselage. Now this is similar to many of the fuselages that you've seen flight tests build. Here's one here. Now that could have been, the Duster or any of the others, basically making the tail a little stubbier. And roughly, we're talking, the sides will be 2.5 inch. The bottom will be, and the top will be 1 7/8 inch. Reason being, it comes out pretty square. At this time, I'm going to glue a blue block of foam down just about 5 inches back from the front of the nose of the airplane. That's going to be my support for my landing gear. Works out pretty well, fairly ends up a lot of strength, because I'm going to glue along the sides, the bottom, and the sides again to where it is also attached to the sides to keep pulling the bottom out on the event of a hard landing. I have assembled my fuselage. The sides folded down in B fashion, in other words beside the bottom. Top same way, it was beside the sides are beside the top. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not. And you can see my blue foam down there. That's about 5 inches down. Alright. Now, next thing I usually do is I usually figure out how big my motor pod is going to be. Now I make a motor pod, but it's quite a bit different. Now, as you can see, it comes down about halfway, and I'm trying to give myself just about a 1/2 inch of room underneath the motor mount. The battery will rest in this slot here, and there'll be a piece of Velcro and a strap. I like using a strap. I drill the holes with a 1/2 inch Forstner bit. You have to have a drill press to do that, I'm afraid, but it does a clean, nice hole. It's got a center hole there. That's in case the shaft of the motor sticks out, and if you have one where the shaft of the motor sticks out and it rubs against the plywood, it'll start to scream and eventually overheat and burn up. Got the holes drilled for the motor mount ready. Alright, that'll go in here. Made this one especially long. Give it a little strength down here, all the way down past the wing. Alright. And they're square. Now that gives me plenty of room underneath for the speed controller. And what I'm going to have to do next is I will slit the tape and the paper across the top, then I'll peel it back. When I'm done with that, I'll cut the foam out that's left. Alright, it gives me just 2 flaps of paper and tape, and it's about 5 inches, the length of the battery. Alright, then when I go to build, I will glue put glue on the sides, and then I'll glue all the way. I'll put glue on the sides, and then I'll glue all the way around the edges, so that it totally makes contact with the outside rim of the fuselage. Alright, and I'll put some glue on the sides here, so it glues to the sides of the fuselage. Press it in, get it in there nice and square. Alright, usually I wait to cut the actual paper out until I have this step here done. Then I'll cut it and put it in there. And it's back about, I'm about 1 3/4 inches back from the motor mount. Alright. Pretty much, kind of skipped a bunch of places here. Got everything ready to assemble. Put the power equipment in. Now, the way I line my, this is all the stuff, you know, got the stuff all cut out, ready to go. Got all the stuff cut out for my next one ready too. Did it a little different. Do each one a little bit of difference. Now, you see this stick up here that I have sticking in here? That's going to be for my alignment purposes. Got a center mark for the wing. I found the center of the wing back here. Took a barbecue stick. You could use a pin even, so you don't want to have a hole there. That doesn't bother me. And find the center of the fuselage back here, and you pin the fuselage to the wing like this. The only reason I'm doing this is because you have to jerk around to try to hold all the parts together to glue that down straight. That's just tough. So all I have to do is line that mark up, because I know the center's back here. That's just a little tip here. Now, of course, I haven't cut out the slot for the battery. I have my foam block in there for my wheels. That's all ready to go. This isn't glued in yet. Alright, I'll put this in, glue that down. After I get the slot and everything cut in here, I'll glue everything down. But that'll be after I have the strap in here for the hold the battery down. I haven't done that yet. Got a lot of little things I got to do yet. Won't take just a couple hours is all. Got this done. This is a little different than what Flight Test was doing. Actually, this is a arm and wing. I bent that up arm and wing style. I just want to try it, see what it was like. Okay, and that's about the only real changes I've got. Of course, I have a solid fuses. I went flying yesterday with some guys that had the Bloody Wonder style from Flight Test, and man, it just gave them grief. I'm sorry, their power pods are loosening up. All the rest of this stuff. I'm not a big fan of power pods. I think build it, put it in. You want another power pod. By the time that you fly these airplanes for a couple of weeks, the power pod usually is so beat up that it's not really worth putting in a second airplane. Just make a new power pod. It's just easier. Okay, I think that's about it. Wind's blowing about 15 miles an hour out there, so it's perfect flying weather.